Podcast, episode 25. I'm back. It's been a couple of weeks and my last episode was my 1 year podiversary, so thank you very much for celebrating with me. And I'm Vanessa. I've got a new bit of setup this week, which is why you're facing me a little bit better now. I hope you like it. Where you can find me on Instagram as Nessa Townley, you can find me on Ravelry as Killtocraft, and you can also find me on the Ravelry Group, which is the Killtocraft Podcast Group, and you can also find me on my blog, which is Killtocraft.wordpress.com, which I sometimes post show notes. I am not always great at doing that. You're best finding those in the Ravelry Group, but I am trying out possibly writing some blog posts again for my blog, because I haven't done that in ages, and I feel it's a really good documentation of what I am making, especially when it comes to sewing, which I am intending on doing a lot more of. So if you keep an eye out on there, there may be some more posts popping up, not really regular, but if you follow me on Blog Loving, if you've ever been on there, you can follow lots of blogs and keep up to date with their new and latest posts. And if you follow me on there, you'll certainly know what I'm posting out there. So for today's episode, I have what seems like a lot of stuff. Yeah, we've got knitting, we've got some spinning, and we've got some extra little things towards the end, so quite excited to share plenty of this with you today. I hope that you like the setup of the camera. I've basically got a camera that now anchors up so that I can angle it better and place it in different places. And it just holds my phone. Before I was just standing it up against my computer or standing it in my little cat holder, so you were facing up at me, and I wasn't quite as happy about how that was turning out. And I think as well that Katie from Inside 23, she's also done a similar thing where she's got a new little setup going on, and so yay for newness. Other things, if you keep seeing me looking to the side, it's just because I've got extensive show notes this week, because I feel like there's lots of little things that I want to talk about and I really don't want to forget. So I want to go next on to thank yous. I want to thank any of the new or returning viewers that come over and like and subscribe the podcast. Thank you very much for coming back. Thank you very much for choosing my podcast to come and watch. I hope you enjoy the episode. It might be a long one this week. Hope it doesn't scare you off. And also massive thank you to all those who have supported me and my re-release of my I Heart Bees pattern, which is super exciting, and all of you guys have been really super sweet, and lots of people have already started joining in, and the knit along on the Ravelry group is starting to get filled up with projects and people who are posting their yarns, and you're starting to see progression of cuffs and legs coming on, and it's super exciting, so thank you very much. And if you haven't joined in the knit along, you still have plenty of chance. It goes on from now all the way till, I think it was the 26th of August I've put on. I've actually changed the date and extended it so that you've got like a good month or two, in fact, to actually make your socks. So you've got about 7 weeks, I believe, to make the I Heart Bees socks if you want to join in over on the Ravelry group. I will mention a little bit more in a minute about the knit along as well. I also want to make a special thank you as well to a lovely kind viewer who gifted me a pattern after the last episode for my 1 year podiversary, and she kindly gifted me the Good Vibes shawl, and I don't know if anybody has seen the pattern, but it's a gorgeous shawl in 2 colours, and it separates into 2 colours into like a scalloped edge, and it's got sections in the second colour, and it is really beautiful. You should check it out. And I haven't picked any yarns quite yet, but I've got a possible yarn combination in mind for the shawl, and I'm thinking I might buy the yarn for it maybe next month if I've got enough money, but I'm trying to save for yarn deal, so, but if not, I may buy one of the yarns and just hoard them aside until I have a bit more time to create them. But thank you very much, because it was really appreciated, and I'm super excited to make it. And thirsty today. So my next thank you as well is to Katie of Inside 23. Hi Katie. She's adorable, and she's been buzzing about my I Heart Bees socks a lot on her podcast over the past couple of episodes or couple of weeks, and I really wanted to say thank you, because she's super supportive, and I couldn't be so more chuffed that Katie's been kind enough to put out there that she's going to be making them and that people should check it out. So thank you, Katie, you're a little gem as always. Also a thank you as well to my friend Twee of Twisted Stitches. Hi Twee, because she's also been super supportive and spreading the good word about my socks, and on her last episode she was saying that she wasn't quite there at finishing the socks, but that she'd hoped that people would now go over and check out my pattern. I know somebody specifically mentioned they'd heard from her about the sock pattern, so thank you Twee, you are a little gem. Other group news is this week. Whew, I feel like I'm blabbering on. 7 minutes and I'm not even into the proper knitting yet. Sorry people. I've been getting through the introductions thread post. I have been a bit of a failure with my introduction thread post. I read all of them, so if you ever post up your introduction of you and that you've joined the group, hello, hi, I read them all, honest. I read through every single one of them, and you may see me actually pressing love on the posts, and that's me. I've read that, and I tend to leave them till I've got a bit more time. If you notice, I usually answer to a few people at once, and I think I'd left it a little bit too long. I had a good few posts, and then recently I had a few more, and when I checked back and I started going through a few of them, I realised that some of them I hadn't answered, and they'd been up there about 3 months. I really apologise, and I do like to answer each of you. I feel it's just nice. If you've spent the time to write to me, it's just nice for me to spend time to write back to you. So if you do write up there, I am a busy person. Do realise that I will get back to you, and I will reply back to you and respond like you have to me, but it just might be when I can spare a bit of extra time to answer a good few posts at once, and that I'm not ignoring you. And please do then join in the group, because it's nice to see you all chattering, and I love to read what everybody's, well, gabbing about. So don't be afraid to answer in there, and I think I've seen a few more posts in there recently, so a couple of weeks I might spend a bit more, another hour or two, and reply in there. So knit along, I mentioned the end date, and oh yes, it ends on the 26th of August, which is super, and I will be closing the FO thread on the, is it the 26th? Let me just check the date. Sorry, I should have done this before. yes, on the 26th I will close the thread and lock it, mainly because that weekend I will be away camping for a classic car weekend that we do every year, me and my partner, and I will draw the following week for the prizes. I don't want to do it that weekend because I won't be able to record anything to put out there, and I just think it'll be easier if I wait until the following weekend, which will be the beginning of September. And we already have a lovely prize donation. Lovely Emma of Eldenwood Craft. So I'll just reach over here because I've got so much stuff piled around me. So lovely Emma has created us a gorgeous project bag, which is super cute and is also in theme of the knit along. I mentioned to Emma that she mentioned to me that she'd love to offer a project bag for a future giveaway, and I'd mentioned back to Emma that this would be perfect for my I Heart Bees knit along going on in the Ravelry group, and she said that would be awesome, and that basically she was going to make me something really sweet. I received the project bag because she also sent one from me as well, and I was super thrilled and taken back at how gorgeous and sweet, because she's made one that's so fitting with the knit along. I've already shown this on Instagram, but she created a bees project bag. How sweet is this? I love this, it is gorgeous. Thank you, Emma, so much. And one of these is also up for grabs in the knit along. So if you are partaking in the knit along and you have made a full pair of I Heart Bee socks and put them in the FO thread by the 26th of August, you will be in with the chance of winning yourself a bees bag to knit more socks in. So thank you so much, Emma, because this is amazing, and it's sturdy, it's really well made, the fabric is beautiful, the zip is a really nice thick zip, and I don't know if it'll blow it out, but you can see Emma's Eldenwood Craft label, which is really lovely. I love this little tree, it's super sweet. Stitching is amazingly neat. How stunning. And the fabric that she's used in these are so sturdy. I don't know if she uses interfacing or whether it's just that the fabric is so sturdy enough that it just holds. And it does, as you can see. It holds up so nicely. And it's really good size to fit your two 50-gram balls of yarn in here, as you can see. So you will also be in a chance to win this if you join in the knit along. So please do come over to the Killtocraft Podcast Ravelry Group and check it out. Thank you, Emma. You're a little star. You can also find her Etsy shop as well on Etsy. You can, I think it's just, I don't know, how do they type their names in on Etsy? Is it www.etsy.com/eldenwoodcraft? But you can search for her anyway in the search bar as Eldenwood Craft and she will come up. And she's a UK based seller as well, and she has many different sizes of bags in many different designs of fabric, and her shop is totally worth checking out. Her bags are outstanding in quality, and I would happily buy plenty more of these bags. They are up there in the bag making world. Another topic that I wanted to mention, and I mentioned this week on my Instagram. Sorry, this is 15 minutes of news before knitting, but there is Instagram issues now. Instagram has started sneakily putting through these changes that they were on about making, I'm not going to swap to any other platform, and I'm not going to make you turn on notifications if you don't want to, because that's just silly. But I would rather advise you that if you want to keep up to date with me and the podcast, that you just follow me on the Ravelry Group or subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then anything else that you see on my Instagram, it won't be too if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. But it won't be a problem if you've missed my posts, basically, because you'll still keep up to me in other formats. And I think that's probably an idea. If you do want to keep up with me in the other ways, that maybe that might be an idea. I figured out that about a month ago my Instagram changed, and I hadn't even updated my Instagram, and my search feed was showing rather than, you know, the search feed when you put in tags, or if you're searching for somebody, or it just comes up with little images of things you may be interested in. So mine is usually covered in knitting, sewing, spinning stuff, Jack White, Tom Hardy. We all have our needs of things to look at. Anyway, my feed went from that overnight to cars, exercise, muscle madness, girls with everything nearly hung out, and I was like, did I wake up this morning as a 40-odd-year-old man or something? It was strange. It went from being my Instagram to not looking like my Instagram at all. It turned into somebody else's. And I was getting really frustrated, because even when I refreshed it, it still showed me pictures of muscle man, pictures, exercising, fitness. I don't look at stuff like that on Instagram. And so I was starting to get really agitated when my partner told me that his Instagram was still the same. It wasn't just, I thought it was just mine. I reported it. They don't get back in touch with you either. They really don't. I think they just ignore you. But I did look on their help centre, and it said that they'd already implemented some of the changes to some people's Instagrams to see if it benefited, and to them it does. Apparently we like more things this way, so they say. I certainly don't, because I miss half of the people that I follow now. And the only reason why I really noticed a massive change was when a friend actually posted up two separate images, and it showed the later post first, and when I scrolled down to the next picture, her other picture was there that she posted previously. Like, so she posted a picture of a package, and then I scrolled down and saw the contents of the package. Usually it would have been the opposite way round, and I realised then that when I looked at the dates under all of the posts, they were not in order. So I had 16 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour ago, 32 minutes, and it went, my feed has changed basically on its own. They've changed it without updating it. They've just changed it, and they've implemented these changes to anyone they see fit. Now, this week, my partner's Instagram has also changed. It makes me feel that maybe they are just creeping it in there, because they are so scared, really, that everybody is going to run off if they do it as a bulk change, because they know that people didn't like the idea. But anyway, I want to get on with other things. So basically, if you if you fear that you are going to miss out on maybe me posting that I've got a new episode up, then you really should probably follow me on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you just want to keep up to date with me and what I'm knitting, then maybe you could just follow me on Ravelry and add me as a friend, because you can check my blog posts and my project page, and you can check anything that I've liked or favorited on there as well. Or if you generally, I've started doing this now, if I see that one of my friends has posted something and I'm not sure whether I've seen all of their things, I click on them now to see their wall in order of what they've posted, and I can like from there, which is also an idea. If you're interested in that person so much, click on their wall and like their things. You won't miss out on much then. 20 minutes, guys. Sorry, we are totally nearly there. The Random Act of Colour Wrap giveaway has ended. It's been 2 weeks and I put it up there. And thank you to Debbie and Amy of the Periscoping Sisters. They offered a shawl pattern up for grabs to the podcast. Thank you, ladies. And the winner is, I did random number generator before I started, and the winner is number 5, which is Dana Mighty, I think is how you say it. And I asked for you guys to share with us a happy brother or sister related memory. This shawl wrap was kind of in memory of Debbie and Amy's sister Wendy, who had passed, I think, when she was around 35. So I thought it was quite fitting for people to share a nice memory. Poor Dana's story is kind of a sad story, and you can read it over on the Ravelry Group if you go to the post. But she's still quite positive about the fact that her brother had actually passed away only hours after they were both given birth to. And of course we all have loved ones that we've lost but we still love, and we know that they're watching over us, which is the positive part. So thank you for sharing with us, Dana. That was super sweet, and I hope you are happy that you've won a gorgeous shawl. Congratulations. So please send me a message and I'll pass on your Rav to Deb and Amy to gift you the pattern. And thank you for coming over and joining in. Other interesting bits in the knitting community recently are Eric and of the Sticks Plus Twine podcast, and Devon of the Handmade and Woolen podcast have started a new endeavour called Rib Magazine. I think it's something, well, I don't think, it's something that is in the pipeline, and I know recently this past week or so, they have been sharing and putting up videos of interest to the knitting male community and female community who are interested in knitting for their men in their lives, and they are teaming together to create a magazine aimed for men who knit. And I think this is really awesome, and it's going to impact the male knitting community immensely. So if you go and you want to support both of them, please do follow them and support them over on their Instagram at Rib Magazine, and share the love. And I'm sure they're also looking for article things, and they're putting posts out there. I know as well that they are asking for anybody who has any design ideas and things like that to come forward. So if you are of any aid to the gentlemen, please do get in touch with them. I'm sure they will be interested to hear from you. Also, coming up Katie of Inside 23 is hosting a great sew along, and I'm going to be joining in. I think I watched Kristen's episode yesterday and she mentioned it too, and I'd got it on my show notes because I wanted to also mention it. With me getting into sewing, I am totally going to join in, and it is going to be for the Hollyburn skirt. Is it Sew Essentials? I can't remember the brand name, but if you search for Hollyburn skirt in Google, it comes up with the pattern. And I'm super excited to join in, and I know it's going to be a staple in my wardrobe. I need new skirts. Katie is also planning on helping everybody through the process of creating the skirt with tutorials and video installments, and I think it is happening kind of soon. I think it's happening through August, but more information and dates can be found in her Ravelry I can't speak today, in her Ravelry group, and you can also follow her podcast as well, and she'll keep you updated on following information. So we are on to the knitting section, but I'm going to take a first break. I can gab till the cows come home, but my God, it does make you thirsty. So, knitting. I have some FOs. I have a few FOs to show you. You just saw a couple of them slightly. I'm getting one of them out because it's actually in my box of socks, which I might show you the box in a minute. Preparing myself, having to move everything around. So, I finished my Cookie A socks, and they've come out super well. Don't know if you can see the detail on these quite well when they're just held. But there you go, you can see the detail there quite well. And it runs down the front of the foot and the leg. So they're quite awesome, and I'm loving these. So this yarn is Easy Knits Deeply Wicked 4-ply in the shade, and I think it was Deeply Tipper, I think it was. And I really love how it's come out. I've never really knitted with a variegated that's it's kind of swooped in half dark and half light, and it's been quite interesting to see how they knit up, and I really like it. But it's kind of weird because this one's kind of got the striping on each side, and then on this one on the foot it's got striping where it hasn't on the other side. It hasn't quite reached, which is quite weird, but it's cool. I like that each sock is kind of slightly different. So these are really exciting. However, they are a little bit, I do like the pattern, and I did have problems with gauge, as I remember telling you all. I finished them and they do measure and they are fine, so my tension is right, but when I try them on they're still a little bit loose for my liking, which is a little bit disheartening in a way. I will wear them and I aren't bothered. However, the leg is looser and the rib doesn't feel like it's pulling anything in, so I'm just not as excited as I was about this. I suppose we should all just remember that gauge is important, and I haven't really blocked these. I did wash them and I laid them flat and they've come out super well, but they just don't seem to fit as well as I'd have hoped. So what you can expect from this pattern is that, to start with, getting into the pattern, it is quite fiddly, and I think if you're a new knitter, you probably might not, you might give in on these socks, I think, and I was tempted at one point even, and I like knitting fancy socks, but I think after the fact that my tension wasn't quite right, I also nearly gave in and just said balls to it. But anyway, I carried on, we got them finished, but the fitting isn't as I'd have loved, and I don't know if it's just I've never knitted Cookie's socks previously. I don't know what her other socks are like. Maybe it's just the pattern itself doesn't have much in the way of elasticity, and it just doesn't have, you know, like some pattern socks have like ribs in them to make them elasticate. Maybe that's it. Maybe it just needed a bit more of a rib effect in these socks to hug it to the leg a bit more, and it doesn't. So, but I think maybe next time I will try the smaller size and then just block them and see if that helps. Maybe that might have been better, if there is a next time, because I don't know if I would actually make these again. But these are now happily living in my box of socks, which isn't too full. I'm already behind, guys. No. It's the sad state of affairs, and I don't know if I can. It's my box of sadness. I've got my January socks, February socks, March, April, May, June and July. We're in July. I'm not there yet. Nowhere near. So, but I am planning. I noticed on the box of socks, and it's a long thread on the Yarngasm Podcast Group, she did mention that she will count short socks as one pair of socks too, which is great. So I'm next thinking of doing some jelly roll socks to make up slightly the pairs that I'm missing, because I've done quite a lot of pattern socks which have taken a good month at a time to finish. I think I probably deserve some shorties in my box to make it up. So I'm thinking the jelly roll socks. I might go for some Rose City rollers because I haven't made those yet. I may also check to see if there's any other pattern socks that are small ones to go in between my big pattern socks that I like to do. So that's my first FO. My second is a bit of an unexpected one because I wasn't planning that. Well, I had planned it. It was in my queue, and I was intending on using this yarn, but I wasn't intending on making one. But I just decided I wanted a simple project that could get done quickly. So I casted on the conversationalist hat, which is by the Plucky Knitter Girls, and I knitted this in some King Cole baby alpaca, and this is the teal and the grey, and then the orange is actually the drops lemur. Don't know if you can, yeah. And the pom-pom's quite hard to make in the baby alpaca actually, because it doesn't sit greatly and you can still see where it's being banded together. It doesn't seem to fluff up easily to cover that, but all in all, super happy with it. Really cute. Totally gonna be my next winter hat. I still have more of the orange left and some green that I used for Will's mittens last year, or earlier on in the year. You'll remember anyway if you look back on old episodes. I made him some mittens, and I bought this intending to use in the mittens, but the pattern wouldn't work for what I wanted to do, and it became a bit of a silly idea. So I decided that now I was going to do them in one colour, and I ended up buying an extra ball of the green, which was helpful. But I've still got loads of this and some of the green, so I'm thinking about making a second hat, orange, green, and a different pom-pom. So I'll have two hats. Two new hats for winter. I'm super happy with this. I think it's cute. Yeah, I love my hats. So, super happy. The pattern is simple. In fact, I don't know if you can see where it is either. There is might be there. There's a simple tip on the pattern as well, which I really liked. I think it's a free pattern on Ravelry, where it's for the jogging of the stripes, which is about here. And basically you knit in your first colour the first round, and then the first stitch of your second round you just slip it, and it jogs the stripe really neatly. Can you tell? I can't really. The only reason I can tell is because there's a ridge where the sewing was done, but it's around about there somewhere. And I think that's a really neat idea because it does kind of pull it in and hide it, so it's pretty much straight going after that. I'm super impressed with that, so I'm going to do that in future. And yeah, so my third and final finished object of this past couple of weeks, trying to find a place to put things, is my sugar plum shawl, which I'd been test knitting for Mina of the Knitting Expert podcast. Da, da, da. And this is it. This is the small size, which has come out rather big. I will stand up. So you can see that there's some lovely garter stitch and lace eyelet patterning going on, and there's also eyelet increases going down through the body of the shawl to create these nice, and it's increasing along the top here to create these nice long kind of wings on the shawl. We'll call them wings. And then on the bottom edge of the shawl, I have blocked this, but it started to bounce back up. I think I need some wire blockers to block a bit more intensively. But you can see the eyelet patterning and the drop stitch patterning on the bottom edge. So both of these yarns are German dyers. The grey is Zauberweiss, which is this one, and then the border in the blue is Lovely Vicky of Bear and Vuller, and this is a Amazonas colourway, and this is on her Bear Fluff base. And I do believe her Bear Fluff base is 100% virgin wool and is 360 metres for 100 grams. But it is beautiful. I've kind of been wearing it a couple of ways. I will try and put it on for you, and then I can give you a bit of an idea of how you could wear yours. So I've been trying it out, wearing it a couple of ways. This is one of them. Looks quite cute. And then the other way of wearing it, I've been wearing it as well just over my shoulders, shawls. I love saying silly things. Like so, because I think it looks quite nice and elegant and drapey. And then the other way, I've been kind of wrapping one side slightly under on the shoulder and the other one draped over the opposite shoulder, and I quite like this, so I like the criss-cross on the front of the shawl, and I think it looks lovely. So this is a test knit that is now over, and the pattern is fully released to purchase, and I'm super happy with it, and I think everybody should go and knit one. Mina makes some great and lovely designs that are really easy to follow. Her instructions are impeccable. There's literally no confusion whatsoever. Really detailed as well instructions. And really easily adaptable as well. Each section of the eyelet lace is a repeat, and you can switch those up and make it as big as you want, and same with the lace repeat on the bottom. So it's really adaptable, so you can go between sizes as well even, and there's 3 sizes altogether in the pattern, small, medium and large. And as I say, this is the small size, but I think on the pattern for the small size, since we've test knitted it, has now changed to I think 7 repeats, and this was 9 repeats of the main body, so it is slightly shorter, so yours would be about this deep, and then the lace pattern. But like I say, easily adaptable, and I think I didn't quite have enough of the grey to do it fully in grey, and I was a little bit worried I'd run out. So when I knew this, I stopped in the grey, and I decided to use the Amazonas colourway because I wasn't intending on having any projects for this, so it was perfect, and it goes so nicely with the grey. It makes a bit of a pop, and I'm just totally happy that I picked that colour. It goes really nicely. So in the end, I think I used about 120 something grams, which overall isn't that bad. So obviously you can do it one colour or team it up with a secondary colour like I have, and you can do it like Mina has, where it's really elegant in one colour for weddings and special occasions, or like me, I've gone for a bit of a party everyday shawl. So that is that. Gorgeous. So if you want to knit this pattern, if you go over to Mina Phillip on Ravelry, you will find the Sugar Plum shawl, and she's also doing a knit along as well on her Ravelry group. I'm not sure if she's mentioned details this week because I haven't watched her latest episode, but I will be catching up with her later today. So if you check that out, she's probably popped something up about the extra KAL details in her group. So go over there and take a look. And well done, Mina, because it is a gorgeous shawl. Gorgeous. Knitting whips. Gosh, I am running up a time today. So I haven't done tons on this, but I haven't casted on really many projects because I'm wanting to get through some really old lingering projects. One of them is my dad's sweater. The other one, I've realised I've got some stockings, some vintage stockings. I'll show you a picture of it actually. That I've realised I have had now on the needles for a good 2 years. I started the Betty lace stockings, which are out of this Knit Vintage book, and I started these ages ago, and I even got the yarn for them, and the yarn was Bergeret de France in the Angel, and I got the same colourway as the pattern, so really nice grey. And I want these done because now I'm hand making dresses and skirts and such. These are gonna rock. And I've even got a kind of a nice bodice with stocking holders that's grey that will go with this. Not that you need to know about my lingerie, but I really want to finish them. And for 2 years I've had part of a cuff and a bit of a leg on both stockings. So I am aiming to not cast on much in favour of getting some of my whips, long-term whips, finished. So last time you saw this sleeve, it was down here, and this past week I've managed to get a couple of repeats done. I'm a few repeats away from finishing this sleeve, so I might do some more today in fact. maybe this evening with a film, and try and get some more of this done. I'd like to at least get a sleeve done, so then I've only got one more to do, which would be great. I can get it sewn in and I can feel a bit more like it's on its way. So not much really to say about it. It's coming on. It's slow progress because I've been so busy, but now I've got a few things out of the way. I'm hoping I will start and make a bit more movement on that one. Next project is over here because it's in my little Eldenwood craft bag. Is my I Heart Bees socks, which you noticed I had casted on. However, I do mention in my pattern the such importantness of gauge and tension in the sock pattern. It is crucial, and obviously if you're using a different yarn, that can also change your gauge of a sock pattern as well. I'm doing the medium size, but I don't think this is such as thick of a 4-ply as the other one, as my sample sock, and so I've still got a few centimetres to do, but it's not quite when slightly stretched getting to the 8-inch mark. So I'm half tempted to recast on just a 2.25 instead of 2, but I'm going to reevaluate later and have a think about it. So far I only have a little cuff, and this is in my Posh Yarns, and it's a golden spelina base. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll see if I can squeeze my skein out. You can just see the golden sparkles in there, and it's blowing the colour out slightly, but it's like a honey colour, which I think will look gorgeous with the honeycombs. It's making me think of Winnie the Pooh rather than bees, to be honest. But there's nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong at all. So do check your tensions. It is really important. I can't tell you how deeply important it is. From knitter to knitter, our tensions are all different, and when a designer designs a sock, she designs the sock to a tension she likes for the to create a nice fabric for the sock. So if you use a smaller needle, that fabric will get tighter. If you use a bigger needle, it will get looser. And so it's to make a certain fabric of your sock, really. And so from knitter to knitter, we knit differently, and so get tensions and gauges change. And if you do a gauge swatch and check your gauges, it makes for less disappointment later, which happens, like with my Cookie A socks, and it is disappointing when you have to restart them. There we are. It's a bit more like that kind of colour, but it's beautiful, and I'm loving knitting on these. I'm just hoping that they will be alright. Maybe when I've knitted a few more centimetres, because I've still got a few more to do on the cuff before the pattern section, that it might be right then. Maybe I just need to keep going a bit further down, check its stretch. We'll see. So that's my I Heart Bees socks, which I've just cast on. And then the other projects that I've only really worked on is I've done a little bit on my Cozy Memories blanket. There's been a couple of occasions this week where I've been watching important telly programmes like The Sewing Bee and things like that, and I've wanted a project that's just easy, that I can just squeeze a few rows in. So here is my blanket, and I'm building it up still. So this gorgeous square is some alpaca that Katie from Inside 23 sent me, and it is beautifully soft. I'd love to know what brand it was, but she wasn't sure. But it's absolutely beautiful. And then I've just started adding in my Amazonas Bare and Fuller colour way into the corner, to another corner. So I've got 2 new rows to go across on. So yeah, it's exciting. I go a row across the top and then a row across the side usually, but I'm just thinking of just putting the squares and building them along as I see fit, to be honest. It's kind of easier to add colours that way, and I'm just putting the colours where I damn well please, because it's nice that when you get a colour, if there's one that really goes with that you just put it next to it. I know who these are from, and they are from my lovely friends, and that's all that I need to really remember, is that who sent me them. And I'm keeping that in my beautiful Fawn and the Fox bag, made by Lara of the Fawn Knits podcast. Hi Lara. This is like a say hello to all my friends podcast. So next thing is spinning. I've been spinning for the Tour de Fleece. I know I'm a bit of a slow spinner. I'm not a really fast spinner, but I'm also plying on the fly, so I'm plying as I'm spinning as well, so maybe that's why it's taking a bit longer. Never thought about that. I'm keeping that in a lovely project bag that my friend sent me, and hello. I love this bag because it's spring, isn't it? At the UK at the minute, we're a little bit rainy, a little bit dreary most days. It's warm, but not by any means gorgeous, sit out in the sun kind of weather. It's been a bit here or there. And I'm spinning on my Spin City bat, which I needed to really make some progress on because I hadn't really made any, which is coming along lovely. I have 55 grams spun, and is it these two? These two, I kind of noticed that maybe I've been putting some overspin into them a little bit too much, and they look a little bit not as cushy as this one. I think you'll know what I mean. It looks a little bit tighter. Maybe it's just thinner spun. Anyway, I've been trying my best to not put too much spin into them. And it's coming out a little bit more like this one now. But all in all, 55 grams, not doing too bad. But my spindle is it's a bit heavy. I've noticed that this is like an 80 gram spindle, and I did mention this the last time I spun on it, that for the thinness that I'm wanting to spin so that I can ply it to get a reasonable thickness in yarn, once I get to about 10 grams on here, it then starts to split when I'm spinning, and so the spindle literally breaks off of the fibre that I'm spinning. It can be very frustrating. So I've realised I need to do a bit of a downgrade to a lighter weight drop spindle to spin what I want. So what I'm doing at the minute is I'm finishing off this bat, and I'm just going to do them into, like, I think these are about 13 grams mini skeins, because I was thinking about maybe doing a little shawl or a cowl with this anyway, so it's not going to be too bad. Oh, it goes really nicely with my top, just realised. How lovely. Anyway, so I have got a kind of a plan for this. So I will just keep spinning on this to finish the bat, and then a kind podcast viewer, Instagram friend, actually gifted me. I'll show you it now because it's still in conversational, like what we're discussing. But she gifted me I say gifted me. She has, I suppose. She's kindly sent me. Don't know if she wants me to name her on the podcast, but I'll just say thank you. kindly sent me a Turkish spindle to have a try on, which I've never actually spun with a Turkish spindle. I'm still very new at spinning. She said that it was 28 grams in weight, and so I'm gonna have a go with this because I've got some Rolex that I think would be perfect to have a practice on, but this might very well be kind of the weight that I'm wanting to work with, so it'll be nice to have a go on to check how it feels and have a practice spin. But she said she wasn't using this any longer and that she'd love to send me it to have a try, and I really appreciate that, so thank you so much, because I love it, and I love how it fits together. Like, how awesome is this? You just slide it in, and then you have your hole at the bottom, hole at the top, aligned, and you put... How smart is that? That is so cool. And the way that you wrap it as well, when you finish your turtle, your ball, you can, I think they call them the turtles, don't they, on like people who spin with the turtle made spindles, they call them little turtles, the ball that it creates when you wrap it a certain way. But then you can just remove them and you have a ball of yarn. It's super cool. I'm really looking forward to having a go. So that's really awesome. And because I panic bought some Rolex, because I didn't think I'd have enough to spin through Tour de Fleece, I wasn't sure. So I went over to Debbie's store of Fondant Fibre and treated myself to some Amanda Rolex, 100 grams. And this is Polworth, Merino, Bamboo and Nylon Shimmer. And I've been really into Merino and Bamboo recently, so I wanted to give these a try. And I've never spun with Polworth or Bamboo, so this will be really interesting. I'll get one out. So, and who doesn't like these? It's like candy floss. I'm into these kind of colours. So cute. So it is super soft. Oh, my phone, bear with me. So, I can't quite remember what I was saying. That was my mum. She just called to see what I was up to and whether I wanted to go around for tea today, but I've got some work to do later, so I can't make it. I can't remember what I was talking about at all, but it was to do with the Turkish spindle and how cool it is. And thank you so much for sending this over. And I got some, was I on about the Rolex? I may have been. Look how awesome these are. So I got these, and then I messed up the code on... I looked at the Instagram page for Deb's Fondant Fibre, and I'd looked at the post for the Tour de Fleece team, and I'd read that, but I didn't even see the fact that it had a code on it. I don't know, I had a blind spot moment. But I used my 10% off code that I had from my last purchase. I didn't realise at all that I could have had 16% off of my purchase. Oh, I made an absolute boo-boo, but I said to Debs on the post, why did I not see this? I've already ordered, it'll be fine. But she kindly sent me a little Rolex gift instead, which she didn't have to. So thank you, Debs. This is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm thinking, she sent me a little note as well, but she also sent me this, which is super cute. This is like a stitch marker that is a little Tour de Fleece bike, which I love. So that's like that's going to represent my first year of Tour de Fleecing, because I'm a rookie this year. But look how gorgeous these colours are. And I think I'm going to spin these on my Turkish spindle to have a practice. So yeah, they'll give me a really good something to try this out. So I'm super excited. It's like an extra bit of fibre to have a play and see how I feel about the lighter spindle. My friend that sent me the spindle as well also sent me some stuff to pad out the package to make sure that it didn't get like broken or snapped or anything. But she also sent me some tailors of Harrogate tea and a pucker tea, which I've already had. So rhubarb, rose lemonade and spiced apple, which I still haven't tried the rose lemonade, and I've got one of these, but I've never tried the other two flavours, so I can't wait to try those as well. Super exciting because I do love a good tea. But she also sent me some quite ample amounts of yarns. She sent me some skein queen squash in the Turkish Delight. Look how gorgeous this colourway is. She knows I've got a scrap blanket, so I will probably add a square, and then hopefully if there's enough I might save some of this for toes or heels. She also sent me, this is super soft and squishy, I love this, Socks That Rock Silky, and this is a club colourway. Look at that, it's beautiful. This almost looks like hand spun as well because of the barber pulling effect. And then the Fleece Artist sock, which is Cosmic Dawn. I think this is amazing. I would love to knit with this. I'm looking forward to adding that in my sock blanket. So yay! So these are all lovely. I can't wait to get dug into them all. But like I'm saying, I'm trying to finish up old stuff. So at the minute, it's old projects. It's old projects and spinning furiously like a crazy person. But it's all exciting, and I'm hoping as well to get some sewing started today. I have my fabric all, my scissor fabric all ironed and raring to go, and if you can see them, and they really remind me of my scissor tattoo. I'm hoping to make this into a top, which would be really ace. I found a free pattern on, what's the magazine called? Seam Work magazine. They have patterns which are in the magazines, but you can also buy them and download them as PDFs. But they have a free pattern, and I think, what was it called? They had a free top pattern. You know, the name has really escaped me, but it's on there. It begins with P. It's gonna really wind me up. Anyway, I will link it in the show notes. And I'm hoping to start that today, all being well. Maybe stick the pattern together and get the pieces cut out at least. What else? So much has been going on, guys. And the last two things, you see, my mum rung me at a really bad point because I would have been finishing up, wrapping up a little bit. So the next two things that I want to talk to you about are just some general odds and ends. I watched a new film this week, which is American Ultra, with Kirsten Stewart and Jesse Eisenberg, and this was on a trailer at the cinema when we went to see, it's a bit ago, I can't remember what we did actually see, but anyway, it was on a trailer. I really kind of wanted to see it. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I'd say out of 10 I'd give it about a 6 or a 7, but it is a really good film and it's enjoyable, and basically these are two what you think are everyday people, and then weird stuff starts happening to them, and the story has a bit of a turn to it. so to speak. But it is funny. There were quite a few occasions that made me giggle, and it's quite action filled as well. But it's not like boom, amazing. I think that also there's a flaw in the film that I noticed that kind of really irritated me a bit. And you probably will spot it as well. There's a bit where he buys some fireworks, and then he says that he's dropping these fireworks off home, which obviously in the film is completely missed out. So you assume that these fireworks are actually still in his car. And then there's an explosion. Well, his car sets fire. And I'm like, well, surely the fireworks will be going off by now. It really annoyed me, because it was a little bit of, they kind of assumed you knew the fireworks weren't there. I kind of don't like the assuming. They should just make it happen. But otherwise, a good film. I paid a £5 for this, so it's not that bad. But I probably won't pay any more than that. So maybe get it from, like, I got mine from Sainsbury's. Maybe get it online or in a sale, you know. But it was good entertainment for a few hours, and I could still do a bit of knitting as well, which isn't too bad. It wasn't so hard to follow that I couldn't knit, which is great. And then my second purchase is a bit of book stashing, as we do. I'm as bad with my books as I am with my wool recently, and I bought myself a copy of Wuthering Heights. I am actually thinking that I might at some point do a read-along together, maybe on my Ravelry group. If you are interested in possibly doing a read-along, it takes me a while to do reading at the minute, because I'm not reading on my walks to work anymore. I'm reading when I can squeeze it in. But I'm thinking at some point possibly a read-along of Wuthering Heights. I want to see if I can actually get into a bit of romantic fiction, romance story. This is probably a really good one to start with if you haven't read it. It's classic, and everybody keeps telling me it is one of the best. And look at the cover. I saw this copy and I looked to see if I could find a second-hand copy with the same cover, and I couldn't. So I was like, I'm just gonna treat myself, because I can't have one of the other editions now. I know that this cover is like, it's just pretty, it's beautiful, and I want it in my books. And it was quite funny, when I was mulling over this, I went to get a coffee from Costa's, and I sat down with my other book, and I was thinking about it, and I was scrolling through on my phone trying to find maybe a second-hand edition, and Kate Bush Wuthering Heights came on the radio, and I was like, it's just telling me to buy it, just get it. So it wasn't really that overly expensive, brand new either, so I just thought, stuff it, I'm gonna treat myself. So I got that. So this is going to be a read possibly very soon. And I will hopefully do a bit of a read along, and you can all join in. Let me know if you're interested in that, because it'd be really exciting if you are. I think that's it for today. I haven't really done much. This past week I had the week off, and then this week I've been at work, so I've been rather busy with work really, and just chilling in the evening. My week off that I had was finishing up lots of my knitting. I did the hat, I finished up my shawl, and I finished up my socks so that I could have them in the Cookie KAL knit along. So I was knitting like a crazy lady. But yeah, I haven't really done much. We went to a car show quite recently and took our car. We've just had the tyres changed on it because my partner, on the way back from Download Festival when he was last away, had a blowout on the A1. One of the tyres completely blew up pretty much all over the road. We recently found out that it might be the actual brand of tyre that we have. because the car has been sat for such a long time being renovated, that it may have not perished the tyre, but it's the stability of the tyres have probably gone, and therefore it was probably best to change them. So we've changed all of our tyres, so we've had that done, and yeah, we haven't really done overly much this week. I started watching the new Game of Thrones, went to my friend's Charlotte's on Friday and started watching those, and I've realised that I can now download them. Microsoft have got them in their Microsoft store, so next week when I get paid I will be buying those, and I'm super excited. I've now seen the one episode that one of my staff members truly spoilt for me, so the rest of the season, because I've only watched 2 episodes, the rest of the season I should be fine to watch without any spoilers, so I can't wait. And yeah, I've been spinning like a mad woman. I don't think I've done much really, just the usual, the everyday sort of things. So it's been quite nice, been quite relaxing over here other than that. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye because I've waffled on for probably about an hour or so now. It's getting a bit too long. So I want to say my goodbyes and thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing week or two, and I will see you soon. Have a great few weeks. Come and join in the I Heart Bees KAL, and Dana, please get in touch with me about the giveaway.